Many people think Ouija boards are just a board game. From my experiences, I'll tell you, this is not true.
If you were there, please move us to yes.
See, it doesn't work.
Hold on, is anyone there?
You moved it.
No, I didn't.
Then Paul did it.
I didn't do it. What is your name?
You guys are moving it.
I didn't push it.
After many attempts of using the planchette, we came to the conclusion that somebody was probably pushing it.
I got an idea.
So my good friend decided if we used a wine glass, we'd be able to see whether someone was pushing it or not.
What is your name? Billy?
That's cool, but I'd be really impressed if we could actually see Billy.
Don't say that.
Why not? It would be cool.
Billy, can you show yourself?
Oh well, that was fun while it lasted.
Whoa. Whoa.
Wait, what is that?
What is it what?
A face actually started to appear in the glass. I've never touched a Ouija board since, and will not.
I'm done.
Me too. I'm done. I'm not playing this anymore.
Me neither.
My name is Paul Silliphant. Ever since I was a child, I've had experiences with the paranormal. I spent over 30 years peering into the darkness of the unknown, immersing myself deep into the strange and mysterious. Inspired by my own childhood experiences, I started seeking answers by investigating stories of ghosts and haunted locations. My mission has been to document occurrences of paranormal activity and search for the truth about what happens in the dark hours. Right in the middle of Port Perry, Ontario, is the Town Hall 1873. The theatre is a popular place for performances and has become known as a centre for the performing arts in Durham region.
My name is Liz Austin, and I am an actor, performer, director, and board member of the Town Hall Theatre in Port Perry, Ontario. The theatre itself was erected as a town hall for Port Perry at the end of 1872, 1873. That's why we are called Town Hall 1873. This building has been many things. It's been a roller skating rink, it's been a dance hall, it's been a movie theater, it has been a ladies' lingerie company out of the UK, it's been our fire hall. It's just had many, many purposes for the town over the years. And it sat vacant for a very long time until a group of citizens in the 1970s, it was slated for demolition, and they got together to save it.
My name is Dave Ellis, and in 1975 I was a member of the Burlington Community Theatre who helped actually save this town hall.
It was later renovated and upgraded and reopened in 2004. Liz, along with many others, soon discovered that the building contained more than they thought.
My name is Erwin Smith. I'm from here in Port Perry, and my association with the town hall is long-standing. I'm a patron and an entertainer and a real supporter. In addition to performing, I used to have a music store here in Port Perry before I retired, and I do the piano tuning for them, both here up on the stage and downstairs. And that has put me on the stage when I've had a few of these visits by the local entity here in the building. On one occasion, it was actually my first occasion, I was on the stage here tuning the grand piano, just working away, had my head down in the piano, looking, listening, thinking, and I heard footsteps coming up the center aisle of the theater. Never thought anything of it because there's often someone around. Up the stairs onto the stage, I heard the footsteps coming across the wooden floor of the stage, and I just turned and looked up to say hello, and there was no one there. After having had one incident, I decided that the thing to do was introduce myself when I came into the theater. So if I had to tune the piano, I would just say, "Hello, it's Irwin, I'm here to tune the piano," and I would go to work. I did so, and on that day, I'm tuning the piano, and all of a sudden I hear this noise on the floor, and I look out, and a bolt comes rolling across the floor towards the piano. Take a look around, there's nobody there. I picked up the bolt, I took a look at it. I'm very familiar with the bolts and nuts and bolts of a piano, and it did not match anything on this piano. Turned the piano bench upside down, took a look around. I couldn't find anything that matched. What didn't make sense was the bolt came from off the stage and not near where I was sitting. Once again, I don't know. And on my last encounter, I again was on the stage tuning the piano, and as I say, my head is down, my turn so that I'm listening to what's going on. And at the back of the stage on each side are stage doors that come in from the rear where entertainers would come in. The door was open, and there was light in that door from a window beyond. And while I was working, I just caught the image out of my eye that that doorway had gone dark. And when I looked up, there was a man standing there, a figure of a man, a tall man with a long black coat and a top hat. If I had to describe him, and when I did to other people here, I said I thought Abraham Lincoln was standing in the doorway. And as it turns out, there's gentlemen from here in Port Perry many years ago that looked identical.
So there was one performance that happened in this theater where I was actually acting as the stage manager. It was a grand piano that was being used in this performance, because that seems to be when things happen, when our grand piano is being used. We're in the middle of the performance, and I got a call in my headset from the lighting tech who was asking me, who is the gentleman on far stage left?
Who's that guy down there?
What guy? Stage left. There's nobody there.
Beside the piano.
What are you talking? There's nobody there.
He's right there. He's standing there.
There's nobody there. Well, I see him. And I looked, and there was nobody beside him at all. And she says, no, he's there. He's right now. He's in, some kind of a costume. And I am telling you, I could not see this gentleman. After the show, I was speaking with the lighting tech person and just kind of saying that was amazing. She was describing the person that she saw on stage, when our choreographer also came up and said, who was that guy over on stage left? They both described exactly the same gentleman, dressed in a formal mourning coat as if he was from the late 1800s. The heavier, like the hairstyle, the hat, the coat, all of it. They described all of it. And I never saw the person, but both the choreographer who was in the audience that night and the lighting person saw that. And so clearly certain people, can see, this gentleman, and I'm apparently not one of them.
In 1982, I directed the first play, David French's Other Fields Lately for the Borellians. In those days, we had to clean up downstairs, shut off all the lights, but we didn't go out the doors downstairs. We had to come out the door upstairs, which led to a flight of stairs to the parking lot.
Dave was cleaning up before closing the theater.
So I turned off all the lights, came up, and there's only one light at the back of the theater that turned out all the lights. So I did that, and approximately 20 meters from that point was the exit to the parking lot.
Dave felt his way to the front of the theater.
And I got to the knockout door, and something made me turn around. I looked up to the balcony, and I could see her almost floating and shimmering. I froze. I don't know how long I stood there, but when I came to my senses, I turned around, I hit that knockout door, I ran down those steps, and I have never been alone in this theater since.
Dave is not the only one to have encountered strange things while closing.
So we had finished a rehearsal, and it was my job to make sure that everything got closed up after everyone had left. So everybody had left the theater. I went around the theater and shut off the lights and closed doors and did all the things that I needed to do. As part of the duties for closing the theater at night would be shutting off the theater lights, and our theater lights happen to be controlled from a booth that's up in our balcony, and there's a control room that's in our bell tower with a big breaker switch. And so part of turning off the lights is turning off the programs, but also pulling the big breaker switch, which is a lot of effort to do that. And one of the last things I remember doing is I turned off the lights on the stage, and I turned off the lights in the actual theater. Shut the heavy doors and left the theater, went on my way. Once I'd shut everything off and I was happy, I went outside, locked the doors. Went to my car, and as I was pulling out beside the building, I looked up. I don't know why, but I looked up and saw that the lights were on. And I knew I had turned everything off. So I turned around, went back into the parking lot, walked back around to the front of the building, went in, and that's when I discovered that the lights, the doors to the theater, the audience lights, the stage lights, everything was back on. I thought, wow, I thought I had just maybe forgotten. So I went all the way up into the balcony, up our creaky little staircase, and into the breaker room. Pushed that breaker switch again to turn off the lights. And came back down, turned off the lights in the auditorium, was sure everything was dark this time, and shut the doors. And as I exited the building, looked up, no lights were on, went to my car again, pulled out, looked up, and the lights, which were coming from the theater, were on again. By now, I know that this is not something I've made a mistake about, so I came back in. Didn't want to, but I came back in and could see as soon as I got in the theater the light spilling from the theater, so I came all the way up the stairs.
Once again, Liz shuts off all the lights.
I turned off all the lights. Just before I shut the doors, I said, okay, I want to go home now. Please don't do this again. Okay, that's it. I've had enough. I want to go home, okay? Thank you. And I shut the doors, and as soon as I shut the doors, I hadn't even hit the first step going down. There was the loudest bang I've ever heard coming from somewhere inside the theater, which made me just race down the stairs and out the building. At that point, I honestly didn't care if there was lights on or not. I was not going to come in. But when I did go outside, the lights were not on anymore. I'm in here alone quite often, but when I come in, I might be here late at night painting a set or doing work like that, and I felt something or heard sounds or the radio cuts out. There's always that kind of thing happens, and I honestly don't want to see a ghost. I mean, I know that there's something, and I don't think it's mean or horrible in here, but there's definitely something in here, and I will often just say, please don't show up because you will freak me out.